What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new news video. Today what I have for you guys are the Season 5 Reloaded patch notes, everything that you need to know about the Season 5 Reloaded update patch notes in regards to changes, weapon balances, all that is covered in today's video. If you find the video informative at any point, don't forget to subscribe. But anyways, let's go ahead, let's jump into it. So the beginning of the blog post just states everything that we saw in the last blog post pretty much. Just reminding you, there's a vehicle camo challenge event. There's also the regular camo challenge event. There's a new sector in the battle pass. No brand new information, just the same exact thing reiterated again here. But here's the new stuff. So we jump into the weapon balances. They decided to separate them into Modern Warfare 2 weapon balances and Warzone weapon balances because there's a lot of changes here. But for the MW2 ones, the handguns, the F-Tac Siege increased the close mid-distance damage range. The submachine guns got the Lockman sub adjusted stats on the FT mobile stock to increase mobility. The PDSW got minor adjustment to iron sights to better align with bullet trajectory. The ISO 45 increased the damage range. The Lockman sub reduced the close distance damage range, and that is all the SMGs for MW2. The assault rifles FR Advancer increased damage range, reduced the hip fire spread. The Tempest Razorback increased the damage range, and then the M16 increased close mid distance damage range, and the Kastov 74U reduced the damage range, and then the ISO Hemlock reduced mid-far distance damage range. That's the ARs for the MW2 update. And then battle rifles, the TAC-V increased damage range, the Cronin Squad, the SO14, and the Lockman 762 all got the same exact change. And then for the shotguns, the Lockwood 300 reduced mid-distance damage range, slugs and HE slug attachments increased the damage range and increased long-range damage amount. The Bryson 890 got the same thing for the attachments, and then they slightly reduced the damage range. The Bryson 800 got the same exact changes for the attachments as well, and then they also slightly reduced the mid-distance damage range. For the marksman rifles, the SAB-50 got increased speeds for everything, movement speed and regular speed, as well as damage range. The Lockwood MK2 got the same exact movement speed changes. The SPR, they increased the long distance damage. The EBR-14 reduced the damage range. And then the LMGs, two changes for the HCR-56, increased the mid-distance damage range, as well as the same thing for the RAP. And then for the sniper rifles, the Karak got a buff, increased close range damage, upper arm location damage, long distance damage, ADS to hip fire transition speed, movement speed, as well as the sprint speed. The FJX Imperium also got a buff. They increased the ADS speed and the ADS movement speed, and then a small reduction to the hip spread. The Signal 50 got a reduced close distance damage range, and then the SPX 80 reduced the damage range. This is all for MW2. Going on to Warzone, they said that they are pleased with the weapon diversity. For example, the submachine gun category is still healthy. Although the SMGs are good, other things such as like launchers and other categories aren't getting the same love, so they're helping those out as well. So ARs, Chimera Warzone only, close damage increase, far damage increase, headshot damage multiplier increase, lower torso damage multiplier increase. So the Chimera got a buff. The FR Advancer, close damage increase, far damage increase, a buff for that. The ISO Hemlock got a nerf, close mid damage decrease, and the mid damage has been decreased. For the Lockman 556, this got a buff. Head damage multiplier, neck damage multiplier, and upper torso damage multiplier has been increased. The M13B has been buffed. All location damage multipliers increased. The M13C, close damage increase, mid damage increase, and all location damage multipliers increase. So that got a buff. The M4 got a buff as well for the close damage and mid damage. And then the STB 556 also got a buff for the head damage multiplier increase. The Tempest Razorback, close damage and mid damage has also been increased. And then for the battle rifles, which is the Cronin Squall only, headshot damage decrease, neck damage decrease, upper torso decrease, lower torso decrease, limb damage decrease. So the Cronin Squall got the biggest nerf out of everything so far. And then the launchers, all launchers have had their damage against players decrease. And then the LMGs, RPK, close damage decreased, mid damage decreased, and the headshot damage multiplier has been increased. The second also saw neck damage multiplier decrease, upper torso damage decrease, and limb damage decrease, so that also got a nerf. The marksman rifles, Lockwood MK2, all location damage multipliers increased. The shotguns, lower limb damage multiplier increase for the Bryson 800, and the 890 got the same exact change. For the submachine guns, the BAS-P got a big buff, neck damage multiplier, upper torso damage multiplier, lower torso, and limb damage multipliers have all been increased. The Fennec 45 also saw a buff, neck damage and upper torso damage multipliers also got increased, and then the Vel 46 got a slight buff as well. Limb damage multiplier has been increased. Now, they also did an update to the audio. We introduced some occlusion system that Core 6v6 use for all Warzone maps. Players should notice improved occlusion performance in those maps. So that's for 6v6. The social, play again multiplayer. After each match, all players, or specifically solo players, are designated party leader on the same team, can opt to stick together for the next match. That's the new feature. And then there's also the friend recommender. Think of it like Facebook, where they suggest you friends based on people that you've played with or based on friends of friends that you may have. So it's just like a recommender type of thing. Then they did a bunch of different global bug fixes, so players are no longer able to activate kill streaks from driver or turret position on certain vehicles. And then they did just all these bug fixes, which I'll have a screenshot for you if you guys want to check that out, but I don't want to talk too much. It'll make the video way too long. But the next thing that we have is going to be for multiplayer. So they mentioned that there's a brand new map, DRC Zone 1, which you already know about. This is the photo of the map. We also got a playlist update, and here's what they said. Gunfight Snipers is here. Leave the secondaries and all that behind. It's only snipers. And the best thing about it is they also mentioned 4v4 Face-Off is now live with the playlist as well. So that means they did make a mistake in the last blog post by not including this playlist. But yes, 4v4 Face-Off is going to be available. There's also some bug fixes that they did in multiplayer, which here's a screenshot of all of them. Feel free to pause the video and check that out. Then they also did ranked play. So ranked play was just reminders letting you know all the different rewards that you can get. This is pretty much one of those reminders that they do every time. No brand new information here has been given so far in regards to that, but I'll have a screenshot for those of you guys who are interested in checking that out. But really nothing new. If you know everything about ranked already, you should know this. But Warzone maps following the catastrophic events of Shadow Siege and Al Mazrah, Zaya Observatory has been destroyed. So that is now a permanent map update, no longer a Easter egg. For Battle Royale, Resurgence, Plunder, and Lockdown, here are the playlists. We have 3 weeks of playlists for the week of August 30th, September 6th, and September 13th. This is the photo that they have given us. So this is everything that you need to know for the next playlist updates until Season 6. Then for the modes, we have Armored Royale. Once again, it just is making a return with the new version Armored Royale, which will be available for quads during Season 5 Reloaded. They give a short description of what this mode is. So everyone, it gets a MRAP vehicle, which is your lifeline. So as long as it's alive, you will keep respawning. And then once it gets eliminated, you will no longer be able to respawn. You can go to gas stations to repair the vehicle and refuel it. And then also we have Al Bagra Fortress, which is the brand new Resurgence map. They did have a photo of that, and then they gave a small detail of it, but it's pretty obvious. I mean, it's just Al Bagra Fortress just made in a game. And then the next mode that we have is Unhinged Solos. From Fragile Alliances to Grand Betrayals, break the squad limit boundaries by using Assimilation to grow your squad up to 6 players. Squad size is solo, max players is 100. Assimilation is up to 6 players per squad, so that's another mode. And then for the general, they did some adjustments. So adjusted the audio mix for parachutes and the volume of incoming enemy parachutes. So now you'll actually hear them in rather than hear like the commentator say someone spawned in above you or whatever. But killing a player while performing a trick on the dirt bike will now reward combo points. And then for Warzone ranked play, it's the same exact thing. They did matchmaking improvements though, so they are fixing the servers and improving them. They also updated the rule set, so now the RPG-7 and the Strela P are now restricted weapons and equipment. And then they have the reminders, which is just the same information that we always have. But going on to the next thing, they also did some DMZ changes. So we have some new missions. Shadow Company faction missions tier 3, 4, and 5 are now available. They did some adjustments. So it says, although it was mentioned in Season 5 Reloaded announcement blog, the host leave party feature will not be introduced in Season 5 Reloaded. Increased drop rates for chemical items in Koshé Complex and Building 21. They adjusted the UI when revealing safes to better indicate the location. Grab a secure backpack and explore the ruins of Zaya Observatory if you dare. A new barter item is available at the closest buy station. And then they did a whole lot of bug fixes, probably the most amount of bug fixes out of all the modes, and that is for DMZ. And that pretty much concludes everything that you need to know in regards to the Season 5 Reloaded patch notes. So I tried to make the video short as possible just to get the point across for everything, but this is everything that you need to know. I will have another video going up at some point. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you guys want me to do a guide video on the vehicle camo event, let me know, and I'll do that for you guys. But anyways, it's been your boy Chido. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys back on the channel again. Peace.